Okay, we'll get started and talk about. Thanks for spending some time. I know Fridays are busy, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. The process itself, you should be familiar with because it's the same that we've been doing with the other sports throughout the year, starting with softball. It's a little bit different with softball, just because of how the format was for softball. But volleyball and both basketballs were kind of in the same boat. This is new legislation, a new way to do districts where your higher seed's going to host each and every game, with the caveat that, and really we're only talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, just Scottsbluff and Gering would meet the criteria of 300 miles or more. So if they're in a matchup that's not with each other, then we're talking about the neutral site thing. So um, we have, it's a really tight window. Thanks, whoever wrote that legislation. Thank you very much. You finish on Wednesday. We start on Thursday to issue contracts for all the higher hosts for A and B, boys and girls. You have to accept that contract before we can start assigning officials. Then we assign officials, hopefully starting on Thursday afternoon, and then through Friday. And it's a puzzle. And then start the games on Saturday. The only games that'll be on Saturday will be your four hosting five and your number three seed hosting the sixth. And as I counted, there in Class B, there's going to be quite a few games. Altogether, we have over 30 games with Class A and B together on that Saturday. So hopeful that we can maybe have some double headers where the same teams hosting both boys and girls. But I think the biggest discussion point that we don't know who it's going to involve or who it's not going to involve is the 300-mile stipulation. So if you find yourself in a matchup with uh, Scottsbluff, and really, I think Nate, on when we're talking on Saturday, that will only be on the girls' side because your boys will be a number two seed and they wouldn't play on Saturday. Is that correct?
That's how I'm reading it right now, Ron.
Right. So they're high enough that they'll be the number two seed. And then so if you fall in the category of playing Scottsbluff or Gering on the girls' side or Gering on the boys' side, then you as ADs figure out which one of the neutral sites you want to go. And as Nate said earlier, um, we might have to be flexible with that simply because Northwest might be hosting, Hastings might be hosting, and Lexington is out of the mix. They have conference track on one of the days. They don't have anybody from their facility going to be available to open things up for them on Saturday. So that's something that you guys are going to have to figure out and discuss. If there's some mutual agreement that you can go somewhere else, or depending on where it's at, the higher seed becomes the host site, even though it's 300 miles, then you guys can let me know what that is. The ultimate decision hopefully comes from you. If you can't agree and you can't figure it out, then uh, I don't know. I want to work with you, but I don't want to tell you what to do. So if it comes down to our office, then we're going to do, because of the scramble, we're going to do what's probably easiest. And I don't know what that is, but I'm open for suggestions and conversation. So whatever that falls in, I just know that I want to work with you, and hopefully we can figure it out together. Um, there's a tentative schedule because of officials that we're trying to keep. The playing games for both A and B are going to be on Saturday. Semifinals for A will be on Monday. Semifinals for B will be on Tuesday. Finals for A will be Wednesday, Thursday. Finals for B will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that's the language that's in the proposal. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One thing that I want to remind you of, and we probably didn't think about this when we did the initial, we take all out-of-state games through Friday. So even if you play on Friday, we won't know your matchups probably till Saturday, that following Saturday, which is going to be, what is that, May 9th? So just give you a heads up on that. We You can certainly play those finals games on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. So you have that. Class A girls will start state tournament on the 11th. That's Monday. Class A boys will be on Tuesday. Class B girls will be on Wednesday. That'll be the first day for Class B girls. And it's the same schedule that we've had in the past. So, are there any questions as to, I think it's fairly easy. I want to let you know that, especially on Saturday and on those semifinal games, please be patient and work with us because we're trying to get our best officials to do those games. We need 90 officials, and we had like 110 apply for postseason, and several of those have 1 or 0 years of experience prior to this year. So we're trying to do the best I can to spread them out. If on Saturday we need, I might ask for you to change your game time a little bit, maybe go earlier, maybe go later. If it's in close proximity, we can use a set of officials in one spot, give them a little break, have them go to another spot and do some other games. If we have double headers, that would be ideal because we could send a set of officials and they can cover both games with a rotation. So I think that that's my biggest anxiety part. That's the thing that's really concerning for me. But we're going to do the best we can. I have Michael Barton, Jason Vaughn, Phil has some guys in Lexington that'll travel, and then Jamie Bennett up in the Columbus area. So I have people that are helping with, and those are assigners that assign during the year. And if Nate, if you end up playing Gehring by chance, or yeah, if you play Gehring by chance, then we would go to Cody out there and help us find some officials for that. So, any questions? Like I said, I think you've been through it before. It is what it is. If you want to look for the future and make any changes to this, then let us know and we'll help you write whatever you want to write. But this is where we're at. That's what the language says. I do think that we're going to have to have some common sense and use some flexibility if, like I said, Lexington is not available and all the other factors for whatever reason might not be available either. So the answer to your question, Nate, was yes. If we have to, I think we're gonna have to look at that option. So, but I think the first things first, those are the 4 sites or 3 that you look at first to see if you can make it work. And if they're already hosting and they have lights, then we can certainly make it work, and that'll help us out if you want to play later. Saturday shouldn't be a problem. We could spread those out and play multiple games on those sites. Tracy, I don't know, do you have a complex or is it one field?
No, we would have to play at the college, so I'm not going to be as like easy or as willing to help out because I don't know if we'll have that available. I'll have to check.
Okay. Well, whoever, like when it does come out, we'll try to get it as soon as we can on Thursday, and then you can start those phone calls and conversations accordingly. If it's not 300 miles and you're not using a neutral site, it should be easy. I'm going to send out a Google form on Monday for you to fill out your game times so that we can kind of keep a tally of it, of if you're going to host, what your projected game times would be. You don't know if you're hosting or not, but if you would put that information in there, that makes it a little easier for us to have a plan for assigning officials and issuing contracts to you prior to. I'll send that out on Monday, and if you could fill that out before Wednesday, that'd be great. So we could have all that stuff in the system and kind of have a game plan. Does that make sense?
Ron, I don't know that either of mine will end up hosting anything, but just so that you know, we'll have to work around Class A too, because we have all of our shared LPS sites. So that might affect time. So you might have a Class A game and a Class B game following. It just depends, obviously, but just so you know.
Yeah, and I've talked to Adam on that, and
Perfect.
He does an overall schedule that helps us, and so for
Okay, good.
the Lincoln area, Um, they use that whole time frame. So it might not fall on the Tuesday for semifinals for B, but he works out a schedule for the sites in Lincoln area for LPS specifically. So
Perfect.
you guys should be set with that.
Okay.
But you would communicate to Adam, not me, on those.
Yeah. Yep.
You wouldn't need to fill out the game times on that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And Jeremy, the same thing for Jeremy. He wouldn't have to either.
Ron, I'm sorry, you may have covered this already, but just from my knowledge, I'm reading Boys Town and girls soccer did not have a season, correct? So
Correct.
there's only 7 districts of 6.
That is correct. On the boys, there's let me look at something. 40.
I've got 2 districts of 6 in boys, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Two districts of 6 in the boys, and then
Yeah.
all of them in the girls, right?
All of the girls, yeah.
so we'll have 2 playing games per district in the girls. Yes.
Okay.
Any other conflicts? I mean, if you have like track meet or something like that, obviously we're going to work with you. And I think like Don, you a lot of times host boys and girls, and you kind of spread it out a little bit if we have games. But that's when you were hosting a whole tournament. I think we can probably do double headers for anybody that's hosting boys and girls. Are everybody good with that? That really helps us on the officials for sure. Any other discussion items? Anything else that we need to talk about prior to? I'm asking that as soon as you possibly can on Thursday, the 29th. It's 29th. Yeah, that's right. Thursday, the 30th. So we games through the 29th, Thursday, the 30th, as soon as you possibly can, start those conversations with your opponent. Because I will try to release those first thing in the morning. We'll get those as long as all the scores are in. We're taking out-of-state games through Monday the 27th, so all of those should be in as soon as we verify that all of our scores are in. Then we'll run the points, do the seeds, and go from there. In the meantime, if you please would take just a minute to look at your schedule and make sure that all of your games are correct. There's no duplicates because sometimes there's a duplicate game that gets entered for whatever reason, and make sure that those are correct. And then the other thing that I want to remind you of the email that I sent out about out-of-state opponents, their record might not look exactly what the record is, but what we're doing is we're modifying their record to meet their win percentage so that it fits into the wildcard system correctly. So if it's 6-1-1, it might be a 10-2 record, which is not what their record is, but the win percentage would be exactly the same. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions? Anything else that we need to talk about?
Ron, I got something. Has any AD started a spreadsheet? Dr. Stein did a great job of this in basketball, 2 weeks prior to districts, and he'd update it every morning. And I'm certainly willing to maybe do that. But if anyone's already started it, just so we can kind of get our eyes on the Serpentine and who might be affected by the 300-mile travel rule, and is that something down the road maybe the NSAA would be willing to code and put onto their website? As of today, this is what our district would look like tomorrow, and keep that updated. But when every time wild card refreshes,
I've already done it, Don. Do you guys want it?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Share that with me as well, please. Yeah.
Yes.
To answer your question, yes, let's do that. I didn't even know about that. So yes, I think that's something we can look at and potentially.
I just hope I'm right. So if I'm wrong, just. But I can share it with everybody.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep.
In the meantime, maybe I can get our programmer to look at it once Nate sends it to me. Look at it, and maybe it's something that we can build in that it does it automatically in the morning, or it's something. I know we have a scenario button on our side that like we're trying to project and see if anything's going to change in the future. So and so wins, if so and so wins, what's it's going to change. We have that for our purposes, that it's not public. But I think we could look at what you guys have there and maybe get something for you. I think that's a great idea. Yes.
Well, I don't know about it being public, Ron, but maybe under our AD logins, we could put it in there.
Yeah, but I agree.
'Cause that would help, because I'm old school. I get the notebook paper out and start serpentining. So having to not do that and then automatically update would be sweet.
Yeah, I'll ask him today if that's something that maybe we can just dump our wildcard points into a spreadsheet and it does it and then make it available to you for sure.
So Ron, I sent that to you and then you can distribute that. If you can probably do it quicker than I can.
Yep, we'll do.
Nate, do you want to just drop that link in the chat?
Yeah, that's probably a great idea.
Thank you.
I've got boys and girls separate. Give me a second and I'll put them together.
Make them a different tab.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try, like, starting on Monday, we'll really try to get in and make sure that the out-of-state scores are valid, correct, and it's solid ground. So by Tuesday, we'll update that and then it'll be set. So moving forward from Tuesday on, out-of-states will be set for district seating. We'll open it back up. Once district play starts, we'll open the out-of-states up, and then there's a different date for out-of-states. I believe it's going to be Thursday the 7th, but I'll send that information to you. I think I sent it in the other email too. Is there any other communication that you need from me? Any other things that I can do for you? Don, that's a great idea. Let me try to tackle that and see if we get something going with that. That's an automatic and we're not having to do it by hand every day.
And then if it works, we can do it for every sport next year, right, Ron?
Yeah, if it's the conceptually, I think it would be great.
I just put that link in. It has both boys and girls on the same sheet. It's just a Google Doc, not a spreadsheet, but I don't mind updating it as we go.
If you would, Nate, just update it as we go unless I let you know that we're going to have something from our end.
Okay.
But we'll start the conversation today on that. Anything else? Okay, just a reminder that when it comes time on the 30th, the faster that you can get that stuff to us, the better it is for us, the better it is for you. The process is once we determine who the host is, we'll send that contract to the host. You have to accept it before it'll post on our website. When you accept it, you'll put in your game times, and then after you accept it, then we're able to assign officials. So the process is cumbersome, but I think that as long as everybody's paying attention to it first thing in the morning, that'd be great. Okay, if we don't have anything else, I'm going to stop the recording